Hey, everybody.
Hey everybody, peace and blessings to everyone out there today.
That's right.
Grand rising to you for all our waking up folk who are waking up, understanding what's going on out here.
That's right.
So today, we got something off our plate. We ain't seen you for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be a video that's gonna deviate from the house a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, we're always talking to you guys about these storms. If you go back to our very first videos, we've been talking about storms since day one. So we also have to stay minded and grounded to getting ourselves prepared. So what I want to talk about today is a little bit of preparedness and understanding what that means. Okay. I'll just kind of jump right into it. We realized after last year that our little greenhouse, which you'll see at in the introduction of this somewhere, wherever my wife gonna put it, but that thing was too little to grow any sustainable food.
Right.
You know, we can grow shit, but we ate it as we grew it.
Right.
There wasn't nothing left over.
No.
You know. So we realized that we had to increase our volume of growing capacity. So we took a break from the house and we decided to put a new hoop house up due to the weather. The weather was creating very bad fluctuations out here. Okay. You guys saw it in Michigan, for those of you who watch from Michigan, what happened with your apple trees, right? You had a warm weather, and then that frost came in. Well, the trees started blooming. Once them trees bloom and get flowers, and them flowers die from cold, they're not going to bloom again. It's a wrap. So we started seeing the fluctuations out here with hot, cold, and the colds were cold. You know,
it was.
yeah, like right around that time that shit hit Texas, it hit us, you know. And we were running around here trying to cover up stuff. Some stuff in our greenhouse died.
Mm-hmm.
We lost 2 palm trees that we were saving, growing for our pool.
Yeah, I know, right?
But anyway, we down on one. We got to buy some more now. But it threw us for a loop, you know. So with that being said, it brings me to my topic of preparedness, and it brings us to this video of us doing our new hoop greenhouse. Okay, so that's what this video is going to be about. I'll let my wife interject here. She got a point to make about it.
You know, for a lot of people, you know, that can't do what we're doing or can't really comprehend a lot of the things that we're doing, in my opinion, you know, as you're watching this, you know, and you see the different weather anomalies going on across the world, for some of you that are paying attention, and for some people they just think, well, it's always been like this. We always have good weather, bad weather, blah blah blah. It's not a big deal,
Right.
but for those of you that have never grown food, it really is a big deal. And people that haven't grown food don't understand the cycle process of growing and how detrimental it is to have your process cycle begin and then get interrupted. You know, when you have a cold spell in the middle of your growing season, it's not just as simple as, okay, we got to plant a new one. No, you missed out on the whole season. You're done. If your tomato crops get destroyed because of frost and they were already at their peak, you don't have enough time to go and start all over again. There is a process to growing, and for us, you know, seeing it because we're doing it, it became very serious for us because we are vegetarians, and so, you know, us growing our food is very important for us. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not, you know, the one to be dependent on the grocery store. And when you see what's going on, there's going to be a hiccup in the grocery stores, because not only are small farmers getting affected, excuse me, but so are large farms by
Mm-hmm.
these different weather events that are occurring. And, you know, for us, it's a very big deal. We have a homestead here. We're not just building a shipping container home. We have chickens, we have a garden. So investing the money into this hoop house was a big choice for us to make, and it was a necessary choice for us to make.
Mm-hmm.
So, as we communicate this throughout this video about it, and you see the labor that went on, that it entailed, you'll kind of understand, why we went through all of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that brings me back to the point of preparedness, right? So before I step into the preparedness topic, I want to bring another topic up as a precursor. Paying attention, right? You can't get prepared if you ain't paying attention, right? So let me qualify what I mean by paying attention. Well, a couple of weeks ago, you had the pipeline interruption, right? Shot gas prices up. Everybody, but it'll be okay. All right. You just had 2 days ago, meat packing plants got hacked. And so now the hacking stopped the meat production. Okay. You had a couple of weeks ago information out about a chicken shortage. You had earlier this summer a coin shortage.
Yeah, sure.
So pay attention. They're telegraphing all of these shortages and all these issues, right? And we don't connect the dot of vulnerability. So because we don't connect the dot of vulnerability, we don't connect the dot or draw a line for preparedness. And that's my point, is pay attention. And then as you're paying attention, become prepared. I stated this in a video, I don't remember which one, but I'm going to restate it. I stated it again. I'm 50 years old. A lot of you out there watching these videos are somewhere in that age bracket. Well, we've never seen a calamity. We don't have a clue what one looks like. So therefore, our brain is ignorant to the belief system that it can happen. The problem with that thinking is we trust the same people who are in charge right now, who are fundamentally functioning from the same premises as the beginning of the oppression of what occurred in this country, the beginning of the oppression of what occurred in other countries, right? You're going back to the colonialization. You're going back to the slave trade. People seem to think, well, these people aren't the same people. No, they're the grandkids and grandkids and grandkids of them people. And that's why ain't nothing changed. That's why there's no equivalence in power. There's no balance in economics. So my point is this. That's who we trust. So think about that. And think about, especially if you're on an economic scale that's at the lower level of that scale, your life, your well-being is in the reality of whether or not that grocery store got groceries, whether or not that grocery store got power, whether or not that gas station got power for the pump to work, whether or not that gas station actually got gas. So a lot of you saying, well, shit, B, well, what can we do? That's just how it is. What what can we do? Well, again, my communication is not that your equation needs to be my equation. My communication is you need to get prepared for whatever level you want to be prepared. But to presume or to make an assumption, make an ass out of you and yourself, that nothing's going to hiccup from all this stuff, you got to be blind. You got to be as blind can be to realize that a catalyst What do they call it in when you're reading? The point of the story, the climax. To realize that a climax ain't coming. A climax is coming, and you need to define what you think your preparedness is. So now that I've spoke on that, I don't want to get too long with it. Sound like I'm preaching, but pay attention. Wood prices crazy. Yeah, but anyway, preparedness. What does that mean? Well, this is my advice. Make sure you got a generator. Make sure that generator is connected to your home. Okay? Pay attention to the heat waves coming. I'm telling you now. You heard this from me. The whole East Coast, which includes Michigan, is going to have a heat wave that's going to shut your grid down. I don't know how long it's going to be shut down. I don't know if it's going to be a week, 2 weeks, a day. I don't know that answer. I'm just telling you it's coming. And if is the operative word, if that thing lasts a month, what does that look like for you and your family? You ain't got no generator hooked up. Your food going to spoil. You can't stock up on food because your freezer ain't going to keep nothing. So getting prepared means making sure that if this thing does happen, because it's going to, you can see right now, day before yesterday, North Dakota was 106 on May 31st or June 1st. I forget the exact day. Summer ain't even came yet. Summer technically ain't till June 21st. So technically, they're in spring. So now they're looking at temperatures at 106 in springtime in North Dakota? Really? Anyway, I get a little excited, so forgive me. Look at Texas. Hit them below zeros. Pay attention. This ain't normal. It's not normal. So for all y'all, this Michigan weather, wake up. It ain't normal. Get your generator ready. Start stacking up on your food and your canned goods. You already see food prices are going up. They're already creeping up on you. This thing is going to get stretched. It's 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 going to get stretched. Then it's going to snap. The question is, when it snaps, are you going to be prepared? So I'm going to stop there. Let my wife give you her closing. And then we'll show you the video.
Right. Well, we were very disappointed in the product that we purchased for our hoop house. The directions were horrible and some of the pieces were missing and we had too many of unneeded pieces.
True.
But overall, I'm happy with my hoop house. I'm very happy with the hoop house. And I think one of the lessons I am, thank you, love. I am. I'm very happy. And I think one of the lessons that we've learned in doing this project is to improvise. We really had to use our imagination and improvise in building this structure because it was not what we expected, but it turned out better than we expected. And sometimes, you know, as you embark on different tasks or different things in your life, you have an expectation. And we tend to get disappointed when things don't meet that expectation. But at some point, the responsibility falls on you to use your own imagination and improvise and make it to meet or exceed your expectations. So that is the lesson that I've learned in doing this project. And I really, really love my greenhouse despite all of the drama that went into building it. It took us a whole month to build this thing.
It did. It took us a month. It took a month.
It did. But I love it. I really, really do. I love it. And it was well worth the money and the time and the energy that we spent on it. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll do a walkthrough of everything. And, of course, I'll do another video after everything starts growing and show you our progress with this growing season. So next time, be free.
Be free. Grow your food.
You're silly.
So, what I'm doing today is building what's called a hoop house. Okay? It's hard as hell to find videos putting these things up from a kit.
Yeah, we got the Greenhouse Mega Store 1000 series kit. And you can speak on the instructions.
Yeah, we'll speak on the instructions shit as we go. But we couldn't find one video on a kit. All the videos we found were homemade hoop houses. And, you know, it kind of irritated me a little bit, for lack of a better phrase, is that the company who sells it don't have a video up of how to put it up.
They got one now.
They're going to have one today. They're going to learn today. So anyway, I got to get this thing up because my wife got all kind of food that she'll show you in a minute that got to go in the ground. So, till next time, be free. Turn the 2 cents.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so we just got done squaring, and that took us about a good hour to get everything squared. All right, I got 2 cents to give y'all. For any of y'all that got kids out there, you want to teach your kids geometry? Go buy them some string, buy them a hammer, buy them some of these
measuring tapes,
some of these things right here, and buy them a measuring tape
and a square,
and tell them to make you a square.
And a straight line.
And a straight line. I'm so, flabbergasted, for lack of a better word, how in our education system, we take geometry only on a piece of paper in a two-dimensional perspective.
Yeah.
And it's not till you get out here and actually got to do this for real that you understand it's so much different than just a two-dimension drawing on a piece of paper. This took me and my wife a good hour, and we both got master's degrees.
Literally, for real.
Literally, we both did.
Yeah.
So, you want to teach your kids some shit? Get them some string, tell them to make their ass a box.
Right.
So what we're going to do now is auger all the holes that we laid out to get the purlin, get the
post.
the post in. So this thing wears the shit out you. There we go. It's like riding a motorcycle. Some of them I'm going to have to put water in to soften them up.
So I'm putting water into these pre-drilled holes because Brian can't get all the way through because the ground is so hard, because we have not had any rain out here. I don't think we've gotten any rain since September. And today is May 6th. So, we got a little snow here and there. But when I say we got a serious drought going on, we really do. So, because of that, this ground is dry and hard as hell. And when I say you literally cannot dig through it unless you put some water down, you're not getting through this dirt. It's that hard. So, it's like trying to drill through some cement. So that's why I'm putting water in here. So it can soften up.
Look, we had to learn that lesson.
Yeah, we learned it the hard way. Like we do everything.
which goes on the arcs like this. And what they do is they prevent wind or anything from being able to pull it up because we're cementing them in. So you'll see that. So if you got a straight pole type situation, put something on the bottom of it so that you could clasp it to or anchor it to or drill it to, so that nothing can pull it up out the ground once you anchor them. Because if you just got something straight, it's plausible it could get pulled out. So we have these little pieces of angle iron that I'm putting on the bottom of here, because you see these poles are pretty straight. They could probably come out pretty easy, but with this on it, prevent it. I'm just using a self-tapping screw. Put them in. Then I'll take it. Put it in the hole. Like that. Then I take my ladder, get up there, and connect it. It's coming along. So you can see it's coming along. Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely. It looks good.
Okay, so what we're working on is the front wall on this hoop house here. We got it framed out. We're getting ready to pour a foundation for the bottom so we can put the door on and create a place so water and dust, and we can make it airtight, seal it up. Forgive me guys, I'm a little today. As you saw, I got stitches Saturday.
Let me see your stitches.
So I'm just.
How many stitches you get?
I got these many.
You got those many.
So I'm a little irritated. So my energy's a little fun. But luckily I got Keyshawn. So Keyshawn's gonna help me. We're gonna get this wrapped up. So that's a good thing. I got him here to give me a helping hand while I'm not feeling my best. So you know, it is what it is. So we're gonna pour this. And that'll create the foundation for the door and the framework. Till next time, be free. This has been a task.
Task for your ass.
I know y'all out there be like, damn, they be having some tasks.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do.
Gotta be strong right now.
That's right.
All right.
All right.
Hey everybody.
Do this way because the sun
Right.
is glaring. Okay, go ahead.
Hey everybody. Okay, so this is a pivotal video. This video gonna have a lot of messages. Alright. As we stated before, our videos aren't just about building a house off grid or building a shipping container home. We're trying to give you guys a much deeper message. Hoping some of you catch it. But anyway, we'll get to the messages later. What we want to show you is this is our first greenhouse we built, right? This is my first ever putting a tool in my hand. Understand, before we moved out here, I didn't own any tools. No pliers, no hammers, no screwdrivers. Hell, I didn't even own an iron. True story. So I've never built nothing. So this is my first attempt at building anything. As you can see, if you come in, I put the wood on wrong. I don't have it level. This is how I put my things on to create my roof. You can see me and my wife being here barely moving around.
I know, right?
Done bumped our head on here I don't know how many times. But it survived. It worked.
Exactly, it works.
You know, so point being is, you know, sometimes you don't know how to do nothing when you do this stuff. You just learning. I mean, I am. So now brings us to our new greenhouse. Here we go. Ta-da! So this greenhouse, we have our water system set up. I still have to do a little caulking, so that'll be caulked. We have our lighting system set up. We have a much proper door instead of my homemade ass door. And we got high ceilings. So what you see there is a solar panel for a light. So my wife has lights in here at night. These lights cut on automatically. I'll speak to this in the video of how I hooked that all up. But what this was a kit that we ordered from Mega Greenhouse?
Greenhouse Mega Store.
Greenhouse Mega Store. I got a problem with Greenhouse Mega Store. That kit was horrible. I'm going to tell you. If you order any of these kits, do your due diligence of really understanding how they work. The instructions were horrible. I mean,
Awful.
horrible. You couldn't follow them. The way they shipped it was horrible. Um, it was just bad. So I ended up having to scratch the whole project from Mega Greenhouse Store and improvise it and do it myself. So it didn't come with these panels. Me and my wife did that. The only thing we really used was the arcs and some of the purlins. That's about it. Everything else we kind of ad-libbed, and the plastic. So everything else we kind of ad-libbed. So we used some of the purlins for trimming. We created some trimming pieces. Um, Now, the one thing that I had to learn and I figured out was in the framing. Okay, come on in. It stays really nice in here. Now,
It does.
we have a fan that's supposed to be working, but something happened with it, so I got to return it and get me a new one. But anyway, the fan will pull out the hot air while the louver brings in the cool air. And then we got a shade cloth which kind of breaks down some of the sun, keep it cooler. But if you come on in, and my wife turned around this way. So when they sent me this kit, they sent me these little things like this to connect the purlins to. Well, I used them for the wood to connect this framing, okay? But what I realized once I kind of got into it is I could have did it a different way. If you look up at the top, what I realized is if I just cut smaller pieces of board, I could have arced it all the way around and created my arc. And then from that arc, I could have ran boards across and still ran boards. So I'm okay with it. I'm just illustrating for you that you could use that angle iron brackets, or you could also cut wood in small increments and it'll make the curvature. That was a little trick I figured out while I was up there. I was like, wait a minute. I had a little piece in my hand. I said, shit. If I just put a bunch of little pieces on here, I'm straight. So that's how I kind of attach the face of the board to the front. So what I'm going to do now, we're just not going to do it in this video because we want to get this video up. But we're going to do some caulking and some spray foaming. See the little gap right there where the board meets the purlin? We're gonna spray foam that. But other than that, you know, we came in here, we threw some mats in here. I just cut them in half. This is our makeshift raised bed for the moment. We're gonna add more dirt to it. Got a bunch of broccoli over here, bunch of mustard greens growing over here, bunch of tomatoes. But oh, another thing I didn't like. So, if you order a kit, they give you these metal. The problem with these, they're only 3-sided. I would have rather used a 4x4. It would have made it easier. It kind of gave me a problem trying to connect them because on this side of the wall where this board is connected to, there's nothing there. So I had to get really long screws, 3.5-inch screws, to go through this so that the screw can attach these two boards. Okay? So that's another thing I didn't like about their kit, is the end walls and the front walls. If you buy a kit, do your own end walls and front walls. Just buy some 4x4s and do it that way. At least that's my 2 cents. If you go with the plastic on the front and the back, the reason I didn't go with the plastic on the front and the back is it looked to me like it wasn't going to work, like it was going to tear, because you had sharp edges that it just didn't make sense to me. So I just scrapped it and said, forget it. I'm going to just put up some panels. So I went with those panels. We're going to finish paneling in here on the inside with this kind of panel. We're just not going to do it right now.
That'll be a next year project.
Yeah, it'll be a next year project. These wood prices are freaking ridiculous.
They are.
So we're going to paint this, and we're going to put this kind of panel up so when we water it, you know, I don't have to worry about, you know, the wood rotting or anything like that. So that's my little walkthrough. We'll walk you around it. Oh, the size. This is 20 feet wide, 24 feet long. So a little more than 400 square feet. So we use these, I put these in the ground here to control our shade cloth. All right, so.
Explain the type of shade cloth that we have.
Okay, so shade cloth comes in, step back over here.
Yeah.
Shade cloth comes in different colors that allow different responses of UV or heat from the sun. So I went with the white one because what the white one does is it reflects the heat more so, but brings in the light. So that's the one we went. You could get darker ones that'll be darker, but they'll bring more heat. They'll keep it warmer. So like a black one will keep it warmer, but it'll keep it darker, which can be oxymoronic because then they'll keep it cooler. But anyway, I don't know. So I just picked the white one because it said it reflects more of the sun UV. And the sun can be real strong on the plants. I mean, the UV can really kind of make life rough for them out here in New Mexico. So that was my choice of what I went with. So this is what we use to tie down the shade cloth. These are called wiggle wires here. You put wiggle wires in something like a C-channel, and that's how you keep the plastic down. Okay? When you do them, just make sure your wiggle wire don't stick up toward the plastic, so if your plastic has any kind of fluctuation, you don't want it to tear. Make sure it's warm outside when you put your plastic on.
Make sure it's not windy outside when you
Oh,
put your
make
plastic
sure it ain't windy. She right. Make sure it ain't windy. So, you can see we had unlevel ground again. So, as I've said in all my other videos, level your ground if you got the bread. If not, you'll pay for it.
Speak to the better way that we could have put this in to where it was all even.
Okay.
Outside of what the directions had indicated.
So here on the back, we boarded it all the way around. So came out pretty good. My wife wants to make sure I speak to how we put these purlins, these arcs, right here. These are cemented into the ground. Okay. So we had to get this thing squared out, right? If you're squaring, use 2 tape measures at the same time. From 1 point. Hint, hint. But anyway, we had to get it squared out. And we hit it pretty good. But when you're drilling and augering, what you'll see, the thing might move a little bit. And, you know, again, we're novices. So it didn't come out as perfect as I wanted it to. It came out good enough that it didn't give me no problems. But if we would have dug a whole trench on each side and then set them, we could have adjusted them a little bit better to make sure they all lined up perfectly. We had one that was a little cockeyed, but again, it wasn't so much that it caused a problem, but there was a couple of places where the holes should have lined up, and I had to drill some new holes because it didn't quite line up. I was like an inch off, some shit like that. Them smidgets. There we go with them 1/4 inches. Man, them 1/4 inches will kick your ass.
Yeah, they will.
So be mindful of that. So that's a suggestion. If you do a kit, trench the whole thing and pour it like a foundation. That way you could just have it all framed out with wood. You could stand them all up in there. And then that way if you need to adjust it in any kind of way, you can adjust it, then pour the cement. So you can almost stabilize it and make sure it all lines up properly, and then pour the cement to put it in the ground permanently. So anyway, so that's where we are. So we'll hope you enjoy the video. Hope you like what you see. Watch the gardening videos, but I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So once we go do this sit down, I don't know which one's going to be first in the video. So if I'm confusing y'all when y'all watching this, I don't know how my wife's going to put this shit together. But we got some messages and we got some communication. So we're going to go do that for you now. Till next time, be free. Was that okay?
Mm-hmm.